I let myself explode. Like I really thought I was gonna die.
And it begins. Let me see that little face of yours.
I go, Penny! And she goes,
Penny, sit down. Let me look at it. Sit.
look at her paws too. Oh, she's licking it off.
Oh, you're licking it off? Trying to pretend
look
like...
at those paws. You cheater. Cheater.
Who just did that?
She was digging in dirt.
And Neil?
Yeah, it looks like she was digging in there. Caught red-handed, apparently, too. Also... What is this?
This is a for...
Did you get all the babies out?
No, not yet. It's a cheetah and a lion.
Oh, so a mosquito and a lion?
No, it's a cheetah and a
Oh,
lion.
cheetah and a lion. Which one's the lion? Which one's the cheetah?
Penny is the lion. Ogie
The cheetah.
cheetah.
So does the cheetah still have babies?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And the lion still has babies.
They both have babies?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they have
So we get puppies on puppies. Great. So don't let her eat that. Don't let that lion.
You know, piece of tape with the
How do they find these things? We shall place, as you can see, I have been placing things up here so that way they don't continue to eat things. All right, Rem, we gotta keep kicking them out. Kick them out. Okay, ready? Kick it out, straight out. Pull them back in. Kick. Pull them back in. Look, you're doing it all by yourself.
It's not getting fast.
I know, you gotta do it harder. Doing a good job. So Penny's been doing zoomies all day. It's been insane how fast she is. Remy, see if you can get her to do another zoomie. I think she's tired now.
Look at you.
She's like, call the police.
I think call the police.
That was a joke.
Why?
It's a joke. You can call that police officer that you met the other day.
I know.
Wonder Woman, you hanging out with the penguin?
Saving it.
Oh, you're saving the penguin?
His body and him.
You know what's really kind of funny?
What?
This penguin likes their belly rubbed. Watch. Like that. What are you eating, penguin? An acorn. You're not a squirrel.
That's your penguin.
You're a penguin, not a squirrel.
It's okay. Okay, penguin. It's okay, penguin.
So what do we have to do to make the penguin okay?
Yeah. He's bones.
See, stop eating them.
I know.
Rub her belly. She likes that. Like an alligator. Like a big old alligator. Penny, what are you eating now?
Okay.
Penny, what are you eating?
Okay.
So our buddy Todd came by and, oh yeah, by the way, I finally gave that to Remy because I gave up. He made these awesome little necklaces with some of the monitor lizards that he has. Pretty fascinating, actually. And Remy's got one that glows in the dark, which is cool. When I wasn't paying attention, one of these homies has hidden my shoe. And I have no idea where it is.
Okay, so I told you guys that I would give you an update when I had answers. And I finally have the update that I can give. A few months ago, I think I told you guys, I ended up going to the emergency room because I had like a pain that was like right here and a little bit of a pain and kind of weird tingliness in my arm. And it had lasted for a little while, and this was about 3 months before I lost Diesel. I was a little concerned with it, went to the ER. I actually drove myself to the ER, and it wasn't like anything too crazy of a pain, but I just wanted to get it checked out. I got cleared at the ER. They actually said that my heart looked great, my blood pressure looked great, everything looked great. There was nothing that they could tell me except for maybe I was like a little stressed out, and that if the pain persisted, just to go see my primary care. Well, I did not have a primary care, so it was hilarious because actually the day that I went to the ER was the day that I was trying to find a primary care. And I'm so sorry, puppies are a lot It took me a while to find a primary care physician, and I finally did, and I actually had my appointment today. So it took me that long. It took a really, really long to find a primary care physician in the sense of availability, getting in. But one of the biggest reasons why I saw someone today was because of something that happened a couple weeks ago that I did not share on the vlogs, and I was questioning whether or not I was going to share it on the vlogs because it was very scary and incredibly unfamiliar, and it was something that I didn't have any answers for until today, so I didn't want to talk about it until I got those answers. A couple of weeks ago, actually it was the first week of the new year, I've been feeling like really kind of funky the whole week. I was like, that pain was back, you know. I've just been having a hard time with the passing of Diesel because I miss him a lot. So I had started to feel like that chest pain a lot more. And I noticed it was kind of like affecting my breathing, and it wasn't like super crazy intense. It was just still there. And it wasn't in my arms or anything like that. But it was just, the pain was back, and it was like, my heart hurt. Truly hurt. And we went to the storage unit. Charles drove Remy in his car. I drove my car. When we were leaving the storage unit, Remy asked if I could drive her. And she was like really upset. She really wanted me to drive her. And I got like a nauseous feeling. And that day especially, I wasn't feeling really good. Like I was feeling super uncomfortable. I kept telling Char, I'm like, I think there's something wrong. I think there's something wrong. Like I could feel it, something weird that day. I didn't feel comfortable driving Remy. So I said, you guys just drive and I will follow you. I got really nauseous, and then it like subsided and I was fine. Like nothing crazy, nothing weird. And I started driving out of the storage unit. Everything was fine. I turned the music on. I was like, it was just normal. And then all of a sudden my heart started racing so fast, faster than if I ran a marathon. Like it was insane how fast my heart was racing. I called Charles immediately. I said, Charles, I'm really scared. My heart is racing really, really fast. I think I'm having a heart attack. And he said, what? And I said, I'm gonna pull over into this parking lot. I gave him the name and I said, I'm gonna call the ambulance. So I pulled over to the parking lot, and I had this whoosh feeling go from like my left side to my right side. Both my arms got really tingly and numb, and my right arm kind of like fell. And I thought I was having a heart attack. And I called 911 and I was able to communicate. I talked to the gentleman and told Char could turn around, because unfortunately where the space was at that this happened, he had to like do this like crazy turnaround, and the ambulance got there after Charles got there. So Charles got there, Remy was in the back of the car. Thankfully she had her iPad and she was very distracted, which is exactly what I wanted. Char got out, I was on the phone with 911, and then the ambulance showed up and ran a bunch of tests. My sister came because Char had to take Remy, and I did not want him to bring Remy to an ER for this. So my sister drove me to the ER, went to the ER, and they ran a bunch of tests, and my heart was fine, my blood pressure was fine, and they think that I had an anxiety attack. There's this part of me that's very embarrassed to admit that. I don't know why, because like I've been stressed out before, but like I guess I've never experienced that. Like I've never experienced an anxiety attack, and it was so intense and it was so scary, and I almost felt silly, like I was wasting their time because I had an anxiety attack, you know, like when I thought I was having a heart attack, like was I being dramatic? Was I being like extreme, or, you know, all this stuff. It was really scary. When I was in the car though, and the paramedics were there, that they were running all their tests, and they were like taking images of my heart and checking everything. And the gentleman that was in my car, like running the tests, I like looked at him and I was like, am I having a heart attack? And he's like, I don't think you're having a heart attack. I think you're having an anxiety attack. he said, yeah, he's like, I've had them before and they're incredibly scary. And he said something like 90% of calls that people think they're having heart attacks are actually anxiety attacks because they're so intense and they feel exactly like that. I thought that was like really interesting. But when I went to the ER, they prescribed me Ativan, which is actually what Charles takes, and it's something that he carries around with him in case he has a seizure or he feels like a seizure is coming on. I'm not really a person who takes things over the counter. I'm definitely not used to taking anything prescribed, nor have I ever really had to. When I was at the ER, they gave some to me and it made me like super dizzy, and I was like, is that normal? And they said, yeah, that's really normal, blah, blah, blah. Went home that night, went to bed, woke up the next morning. I remembered how I felt with the Ativan, so I was like, I'm just gonna take half of the dose that they gave me instead of the full dose, because I want to like ease myself into it. I was pretty anxious that whole day just because the experience from the day before was really traumatic and really, really scary, because I genuinely thought I was having a heart attack and I was really afraid I was gonna die. Like I really, really thought I was gonna die. Like it was horrible. It was a horrible experience, like horrible. That night, I just started feeling really anxious again, thinking about everything that had happened. And I took a full one, had a negative reaction to it, and it made my like heart rate go like sky high again. And we had to call the ambulance again. A lot of people are probably thinking I'm like super dramatic and like I'm making a bigger deal out of this than what it was, but this is genuinely like what happened. And my heart rate went like through the roof, and we ended up, after talking with the paramedics, like they said, I think that you need to get your dosage figured out and all that jazz. Come to today. I finally had a doctor's appointment and they confirmed that, I do have anxiety, and what I should do and what we're gonna do to like navigate this path. I have this sense of relief, like knowing I wasn't having a heart attack and that like my heart is good and everything is good and I'm healthy. But I have to tell you that we had a long conversation about like what led up to this point. And I am a very emotional person, but when it comes to certain situations, I do kind of like push them down. I like just do it. I don't know. It's like, one, because I'm trying to be strong and protective of others. But the months leading up to Diesel were super traumatic and way more difficult than I think I've ever really explained to anybody. And I was talking to my doctor today, just kind of like about everything that was going on. And I said, I think when I lost my dog, I said, something inside of me broke. And I said, and I try and talk to people about it and I feel crazy. And I said, I don't think I have this anxiety because of him. I just think that it was just like the cherry on top that pushed me over. Like the pain that pushed me over. Sorry, I can't even believe I'm kind of like sharing this stuff because it's like really, really personal, but I know how much it makes Char feel better sharing stuff, so I'm just like trying a new thing. But I was talking to my doctor. Actually, there was 2 doctors that I talked to, and they were saying, how like one of them had said that she recently had a baby that was 6 months old, but a couple months before she lost her dog. And she said that there is no pain like losing a dog. Like it's a love for your dog is there's no love like it, But I think that when I lost him, I was going through so much and I was very emotional and I was trying to be strong, and then I would try and talk to people, and a lot of people want you to feel better and they don't understand necessarily. So in any certain situations, whether it's like you lose somebody or you break up with somebody or you lose a dog or you lose a family member or you move or something like that, not everyone's going to truly understand your feelings. So, they think that they may be helping by saying like, just move on or let it go, or it's not that big of a deal. And they do that because they care. But in all actuality, like saying those things can almost hurt you a little bit more, you know, even though I know, we all know that's not their intention. So, you know, I was just talking to him about that, and I said, I just feel like I've just tried to push a lot down, and, you know, over the years I've just experienced a lot, especially with Charles, and I've pushed a lot of things down. I've pushed a lot of things down, and I've like hidden how I really feel, and I let myself explode. I did, I let myself explode, and then I got to this point where I had an anxiety attack, and it was very scary. And I would not wish it on anyone, ever, you know? And I think that anxiety is like such a taboo thing to talk about. Like a lot of people don't talk about it because it is like, I don't want to say taboo, but it's just an interesting medical diagnosis, you know, because it's just interesting. Like I don't even really know much about it. I just know that I had one. And now I have to do something to make it better. And that's hard for me, you know? It's like, that's tough, sorry. It's hard for me, you know? My whole point of this was I am very happy that I was able to see a doctor today. It was a very scary moment when I had the anxiety attack. It was a very traumatic moment for me in my life. It was very scary to think that like in my mind that it sunk to the point of like, I'm having a heart attack. I think I'm gonna die. That was really scary to think about. But I went to the doctors today and I am on the path to the up and up. I just kind of wanted to share my story, and I'm a little embarrassed, and I know people are gonna say you don't need to be embarrassed, but it's not like I'm embarrassed because I have anxiety. I'm embarrassed because I think for a very long time, I held so much in that I've probably been more anxious than I've ever really wanted to accept. I probably feel like maybe I could have gotten a hold of it earlier. I guess my whole thing is like, I wanted to say, you know, my friend and my sister and, you know, other people have said to me, like, don't ever be ashamed of taking control of a situation that you don't have control over. It's a very scary thing to admit, but I'm very happy to know that, one, I'm healthy and everything's good. Stress got the best of me. Now I can do what I need to do to make myself the best person that I can. So it's funny to think about how when I first started this, I didn't want to talk about anything. I didn't want to share anything. And now here I am talking about the fact that I had an anxiety attack in my car out in front of Derby Lane. Oh, anyways, we love you guys. Have a really good weekend. Please don't worry, things are good. And for those of you that have anxiety, I feel ya. I really do feel ya. I feel ya a lot. And I'm really sorry that maybe people don't understand, because now I understand a lot. So if you ever need someone to talk to, you write to us, okay? All right, good night.